the other end of this, what
Mm.
do I want my world to look like? What do I want my life to look like? What do I want to be putting all my creative energies into? And for me, I think that I am at my best when I have the time to think about why I am doing things.
Mm.
And often when you're really busy, the first thing that goes away is not your capacity to do those things, but your capacity to think about why am I doing these things, right? You just
Definitely.
go from one thing to the next thing. Right
Mm.
now, I've got nothing but time to think about why I want to do things and what the
Mm.
purpose of those things are and where they fit into my life. And I tend to find that these are times where I feel very happy because I love nothing more than digging around in my life and my mind to think about, yeah, if every day you're getting up and thinking, what is important to me? What makes me happy? What is it that I feel passionate about? What is it that I don't feel passionate about? What is it that I
Mm.
have learned that I can live without in my life? And what is it that I've learned that I can't live without in my life? And then trying to take those things back into the world when we go back to normal.
Mm. It's a it's an ongoing puzzle, isn't it? I think a lot of people, uh, whether they like it or not, have the chance to reflect for a lot of people for the first time in a long time, because not everyone actively seeks the why in what they do and what they love. Um, I wanted to ask the first question on happiness because you are responsible for my favorite sound in the world, which is my mother's unbridled laugh. She has this cackle. I hope one day. Mother's Day was yesterday. I got her a very nice Paul Kelly record. Oh, I didn't. Her boyfriend did, but I'm taking a bit of credit. That's off. That's off the topic. But because I got a record player, so he just bought me a record, and Mum can listen to it when she wants. But my favorite sound in the world is her laugh, and we got to go to Dave O'Neill's Comedy Funhouse last year, and you were performing on stage, and when she has a couple of drinks and she gets a bit energetic, she gets really chatty. Like she'll refer to you as Will only. She'll be like, "Oh, go on, Will, tell a joke, Will." And when I see Mum in that space, it makes me so happy because she doesn't care who else is watching. She just wants to enjoy this moment, and being able to have that opportunity to be there with her in her space is the best. So I can't thank you enough for giving my mother that and giving me my favourite sound in the world.
Well, it's a lovely story for you to tell, and I will tell you why it's a particularly lovely story for you to tell, because that would be a nice story anyway. Like that would
Mm.
be fun to hear. But that gig that you're referring to, I was really unwell that night. I remember it specifically. I did it during the comedy festival last year,
Mm.
and I had done that night. And on the way there, I'd started feeling really, really ill. So I was backstage, not even sure if I was going to be able to go on stage that night. And so I was kind of sitting in the corner of the stage, and the whole time doing that thing of trying to be in the show, but at the same time, like, when you're just doing that thing of going, just don't vomit in front of people. Don't, like,
Yeah.
you're doing that double thing of trying to control how you feel personally versus trying to, do something at the same time. So the fact that somebody got a lot of joy out of that night, because I don't actually remember anything that was said that night, anything that
Yeah.
went on. All I remember is how sick I felt and how the minute I stage, like, I think Dave still might have some money for me because I think he was going to pay me for that gig, but I literally walked off the stage out the back and like got in the car and went home because I was feeling so sick that night.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because I remember because I've looked up to you. I shouldn't say this on the podcast because it takes away the hierarchy element, but I've looked up to you for a long time. So I remember you standing there on the side of stage. I remember you and you were wobbling. You're wobbling a bit, and I thought, oh, he might be like. I thought you were quite fucked up. I thought like, oh, he's really drunk or something.
I was quite fucked up. I felt like, I mean, I wasn't particularly drunk. I
Mm,
would have drinks at my show like I always do,
mm,
but no, it was you're right. I was literally
mm.
like the whole time, and the wobbling, I think, was that thing where you just like, if I just kind of rock myself, uh, everything will be fine. You can get through this. There's a lot of funny people up here at the same time. Get through this. Just don't vomit on stage. Everything.
And it doesn't help when you have my mum heckling, "Go on, Will, tell us a joke, Will." I also feel bad now because after the show, we were leaving and I saw you and I came up to you. I'm like, Will, love your work, and just went in, out and saw you. But now I realise I was in the zone of potentially being vomited on. So I'm glad I got in and out quickly.
Well, the good news is for people following the story, yeah, precisely. I did make it home and did not vomit, but I do remember just feeling terrible that evening.
Brilliant. My